Hello everybody. Welcome to the grand final stage of 6-digit Canadian Tournament 3. And today, joining me in the commentary booth is going to be Groggles. Say hi, Groggles.
Hi, Groggles.
Hi, Groggles, indeed. Anyways, we're gonna be watching our two losers bracket finalists in grand finals, which is going to be our C2 arrowwielder and C6 mumei, otherwise known as Aiki. These two players have gone through so much to get to this point of the tournament. You guys, I'm sure anyone here has already seen the absolute cinema that was last week's last two matches in finals, both going to tiebreaker and both winning and losing by a sliver. So I'm incredibly excited to see how these guys have performed on this grand finals pool.
Yeah, me as well, Aquatic. Me as well. Last week was really close. Like the two tiebreakers ending in 4-digit score differences was just really cinema. Hopefully we can get something as cinema this week as well.
Indeed, and I look forward to it. And here goes, immediately coming out with the bans. Mumei going for that HR4 and DT1, while arrowwielder responding with Nomad 2 and HD2. These are very understandable bans coming from both players. Arrowwielder losing out to Aiki last week on that Nomad 2, and an HD2 ban into Aiki is incredibly understandable.
Yep, Aiki Nu has been showing up in every match, just being that prime gimmick player of the tournament, getting hitting to ban into him every single match. And arrowwielder immediately going to be picking DT3.
Very interesting pick, actually. Not quite as much finger control as the previous pick that was in the slot, but this is nonetheless a somewhat high BPM I guess finger control map. Of course, it is still a DT3 after all. The pure speed map is on DT2. Interesting pick from Mumei, considering arrowwielder is still pretty good at that speed, pure speed skill set. Just looking at his scores from Nomad 5 last week.
I think it's actually arrowwielder's pick.
Oh, never mind. I read that wrong.
Yeah, looking at last week, it seems like neither player played DT3 of last week, so I guess we'll just have to see how this goes.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Of course. It is going to be Lilith. Lilith. There we go. Mapper by Akito, and it is going to be just about 270 BPM. Not quite that high on the actual map. I believe it is closer to somewhere around 200 with those bursts, if I remember correctly. But yeah, here we go. Right into the map.
Yeah. Getting immediately into the map, we're going to be seeing those brutal double and triple patterns coming out. Seeing that really finger control aspect of the map coming out. Mumei having some early act troubles, and also both players finding an early miss. But there's still plenty of that to go.
Indeed, this map is going to be on the longer side for tournament maps, going at drain time just under 3 minutes. So these early misses aren't going to matter too much, but that accuracy deficit is going to bring the score lead over to arrowwielder's side. And with that miss, is going to stay the same as arrowwielder immediately trades it.
Yep, but both players finding a bit more of a foothold from the start of the map, but we're getting into the first PI now, where the finger control really starts to build up now. More quintuples, more triples, and doubles are coming in. Mumei finding another break with that active lead, but the combo lead on the side of arrowwielder, still holding on to a 200 combo, 150 over Mumei, is about to take the score lead back, and now, through the first PI, arrowwielder continues to hold. Mumei finds another break, and now it is arrowwielder's time in the driver's seat to try and extend that score lead.
Indeed it is, and the story has been flipped on its head. It's going to be Mumei with the accuracy lead now, 90%, recovering very comfortably from the start of the map. But arrowwielder's combo is just a bastion that is keeping him in this game, in this match right now. 70k score lead and rising. Ike's gonna need Arrow to find a miss if he wants any chance of taking this point.
Yeah, but Arrow's accuracy also catching back up to that of Ike, not really giving Ike any advantage, but Arrow finding a crucial miss. This is Mumei's chance to come back. Can he hold through this PI, and can he hold afterwards? Arrow finding another miss. It's gonna give Mumei more chance. Score lead now down to 60k, but Mumei's gonna find a miss. Not gonna be taking advantage of that miss from arrowwielder.
And now the combos are matched, the score is shown, accuracy for Mumei, but combo for arrowwielder. The score is on his side. Arrowwielder knows he just needs to hold after this section to get this point, but he falters, he finds that miss. And Ike sees he has a little bit of combo, but is it going to be enough to get him over the 60k score lead?
We'll have to see. And getting into the last PI with these brutal finger control patterns of both players holding strong. IQ now taking back the actual lead. Score lead is slowly dwindling, but is there enough time for the combo lead? Arrowwielder finds another miss. IQ now with 200 combo lead. A score lead down to 40k.
Oh no!
IQ finds a miss at the end. Not going to be able to capitalize on the misses. And arrowwielder going to be securing the first point of the match on his first pick of DT3.
Indeed, a very strong pick coming from arrowwielder. 600 combo, 340,000. A good start to the match. And let's see how Ike can respond to this.
Yep, I think just based on what I know of these players, IQ is going to be looking to pick into sort of the gimmickier maps, into sort of like the hidden pool more in the gimmick maps. Arrowwielder, I think, is pretty strong all-rounder, but something that, like, yeah, I think the gimmicks IQ is definitely benefited on. And we're going to see that immediately with the hidden 4 here. It's going to be CS6. It's going to be pretty high CS compared to your average hidden 4 or just your average hidden map in general. This is going to be precision gimmick in the hidden slot. Also AR 8.5. It's not particularly comfortable for most players.
Yep, and Ike has shown that he clearly can play this kind of precision gimmick slot. Coming, just looking at the, I believe, No Mod 5 from last week, or was it semifinals? But yeah, indeed, like, this is going to be very much favored towards Mumei, especially with the lower AR as well on this map. It is just Ike's playground. and his exact type of tea.
Yep, but getting into the map, we can see that arrowwielder is no foreigner to this sort of low AR hidden gimmick. Ike going to be finding an early miss, but there's still plenty of map to go for that to come back. Arrowwielder quickly trading it after, and as we see, both players are actually pretty comfortable on this map. So this is going to be a pretty contested point, but I think it still benefits IPNU a bit on paper.
Yep, this map is going to be a medium length map once again. The combo lead is going to go on arrowwielder's side though, with the early accuracy and combo advantage. Let's see who finds the next miss though.
Yep, both players still holding strong. Arrowwielder gonna be finding that next crucial miss, giving the score lead back to mumei, and now IPNU found his footing. Now has a 3% accuracy lead on arrowwielder. We're really seeing the difference in comfort on this sort of lower AR hidden. Gonna be finding another miss, but the accuracy lead is gonna be giving him a bit of buffer before arrowwielder can catch back up.
The 97% accuracy to 95, just because the combo is on his side doesn't mean the score lead is going to flick over quite yet. The accuracy is keeping Ike in the game, and with that miss, arrowwielder will not be able to take back the score lead.
Halfway through the map now, the players see the scores, and the nerves are probably settling in. See Ike shaking a bit of nerves off, and immediately finding a break after that break. Not going to be what you want to see if you're an Ike fan. But arrowwielder, not with that big of a combo lead, still has a bit of work to do if he wants to take this score back.
Indeed, the score lead is not big enough for Ike to say he's clear just yet. But with that miss, arrowwielder is gonna lose all his advantage once again on a slow section as well. As the map is closing out, the score lead is going back towards mumei's side. That's another miss from mumei, but I think that does secure it. There's not much map left unless mumei finds a chain miss here. But with that miss from arrowwielder, it is going to seal this deal. It is going to be mumei's point, and we are going to go to 1-1.
Yep, very strong picks coming out from both players here. Both players actually getting a pretty solid score, above 300k on this 5.8 star pool. And this is going to be 1-1, the start of a close match.
Indeed it is, and let's see how arrowwielder responds with this. There's still quite a good bit of mechanics left in this pool. But let's see what they go for. Considering the higher BPM preference that arrowwielder seems to have, No Mod 5 could be a pretty preferable pick for them. There's also the DT2, of course. But maybe he could opt for something closer to the HRs. But no, No Mod 3 it is. Sparks. A very well-known map back in the 2024 days. But hasn't been seen in tournament in quite some while, I believe. This is a snap alt map that is going to have some of that overlaps reading element. Is quite a difficult map for the SR of this pool, but let's see how arrowwielder performs on this.
Yep. There is also a few patterns that are very unfriendly for sight readers in the middle of the map. I think there's like a line of like snap patterns that you have to snap to a rhythm. So we're also going to be seeing whether or not these players, hopefully they should have practiced the pool, but we'll see if those patterns are able to trip them up.
Yeah, it's very easy to lose the rhythm on those linear patterns and find a shit miss. I've done it on this map many times, and hopefully these players do not. But we'll see. Here we go into Sparks.
Yep, arrowwielder going to be finding an early act drop, but the map is going to be on the longer side compared to our previous maps, just above 3 minutes, almost 3 minutes and a half. So there's plenty of map to go, and accuracies are going to be stabling.
Yep, some early accuracy drops from Ike. Not going to matter too much, as this map is going to be 3.5 minutes long on the longer side for this pool. And as accuracies stabilizes, the score is flickering back and forth. It is going to come down to which one of these players find that first miss.
Yep, and as we get into the first few linear aim patterns, those triples in the middle are timed very specifically to the music. So if you're sight reading it, it could trip you up, or you could just like find a random miss there. But both players are gonna be able to hold strong through that section. As we get into this first PI section where the snap aim really starts to show itself, there's gonna be a bunch of squares like that, but both players able to hit them strong. And Mumei with that 2% accuracy lead is going to be being put in the lead, but they're going to find an early miss, quickly traded by arrowwielder. The scores are still even. It's still anyone's game right now.
Indeed, it is. The score lead is going to favor Aiki just a tiny bit. That's another miss from arrowwielder, though. It is going to fly over towards Aiki's side, just based off that accuracy and combo now. Another slow section for Aiki to build up some of that combo lead. Let's see how the rest of this map goes.
Yep, as the song builds up to another PI section, we're going to be seeing these linear patterns once again, both players hitting them strong. Aiki with that 2% accuracy and the 100 combo lead is going to be having the score lead for now and going to have the opportunity to build it up even further. As we get into this next sort of ulti section, the snap aim is back and both players still holding strong, hitting these square patterns like it's nothing.
Indeed, the recovery combo for arrowwielder is building. Aiki is still holding on to that advantage, and arrowwielder falls first. And he stumbles on that snap ult pattern, finding a miss right before this break section. Aiki is gonna take it away with that 400 combo lead. Is he going to be able to hold through this next section? It's going to be a bit of a techie section with the doubles and the sliders here. Relatively easy for this map, but there's still an ending PI.
Yep, that ending PI will be arrowwielder's hope to try and take the score lead back. And here we get into this final PI. The snap aim is back. Both players going to be holding strong. Aiki going to be falling on that, but arrowwielder quickly trading it. I think that is going to seal the deal for this first map. It's going to be the first breakpoint of the match, actually. Both players finding a few misses on the last section. The PI is really ramping up at this last section, but it does not matter. Aiki knew with that early score lead, with that early combo lead, going to be taking the first breakpoint of the match on arrowwielder's pick of Nomad 3 as we get into these last few snap aim patterns.
Indeed, the last...
Sorry.
And there we go. Aiki with the 75,000 score lead, finding a bit of a chain miss at the end, but not going to quite bring the score lead over to arrowwielder's side. That is going to be the first break point of this match, Groggles, as you have said. Let's see how Aiki responds here. They still have that Nomad 6, I believe. That was not banned out.
Nomad 6 is going to be rhythm gimmick of this pool. I'm going to have a few swingy patterns here and there. I think that should benefit IPNU, but it's not really like the gimmick that he particularly excels like too much at. So I think it's definitely contestable for arrowwielder as well.
Yes, certainly so. The Nomad 6 is going to be a bit of a swing, like rhythmic gimmick. It's not going to be the precision from previous weeks or the low AR. And immediately, Aiki actually goes for that Nomad 5 pick. I was talking about this pick earlier with arrowwielder, but it seems that Aiki is pulling the trigger first.
I mean, we did see both players were able to play the GT3 to a pretty good degree. So I think this will be another close map. That's going to be pretty contested on both sides.
Certainly so. Just a map length of just over 2 minutes, actually around 2.5 minutes, actually. BPM at 227. This is going to be a test of your just about 230 stamina, because there's some pretty long bursts on this Nomad 5. If you aren't comfortable on this BPM, I expect to see a lot of 100 and a lot of misses.
That is correct. But even with those 100s, you can still combo game and take out a point on someone else. But getting immediately into the map, we're going to be seeing what this map is really all about. As the 230 BPM bursts come out, these bursts are fairly long, and it's immediately going to be catching Arrow Wielder off guard at the very start. Mumei, with the early combo lead, has the chance to build a score lead up through this slow section.
Indeed, arrowwielder finding a bit of an under tap on that burst, but neither of these players seems to be struggling with the BPM, so it is going to come down to that consistency factor. Whether these players are actually going to be able to hold through the high BPM burst later on, we can see in this map.
Yeah, as we're getting into the next section of bursts, both players still holding on very strong and holding on to very strong accuracies as well. But Mumei, just with that early combo lead, is still in the lead and building up a 50k combo score lead. Arrowwielder finding another miss. This is very bad if you're cheering for Arrowwielder right now, as Mumei now has another chill section to build up that combo lead straight back into the burst. Both players holding strong, but Mumei now with a 97% accuracy lead. We're really seeing the comfort difference on the speed here. Arrowwielder, like, honestly, being able to hold 90 accuracy on the speed is pretty respectable, but just nothing in the face of Mumei with this 96% accuracy. He's going to be finding a miss, but I think they've done a lot already, and Arrowwielder is going to have a lot of work if they want to take back the score.
Indeed, and with that miss as well, another trade. I think this is going to have sealed the deal. The accuracy is just not there, and there is no combo for Arrowwielder to fall back on. It is 180k score lead. That is going to be insane to try to make up for. That is going to that miss from Ike is going to give Arrowwielder a little bit of combo advantage, but I don't think it is enough.
Yep, as we're getting to the last PI, it's going to be trying to see how far IQ can take this. Arrowwielder with that combo lead, but I don't think there's enough time. And with both players trading out the combo leads there, Mumei is just going to secure and consolidate the breakpoint that he took on Nomad 3. And the score is going to be 3-1 off of Mumei's Nomad 5 pick.
Three to 1, a very good start for Mumei here. Right off the bat, Arrowwielder having his point on the board. It is his pick. He is going to have to find some way to consolidate that breakpoint from earlier. If Mumei makes a mistake with their picks later on, there is still a very good chance that Arrowwielder can come back. This is, after all, two of the best players left in this tournament, and both of these players are incredibly well-rounded on all of these skill sets.
That is very true. I think a lot of the maps that are left in the pool now are very contestable for both sides, so Arrowwielder does have plenty of chances to take back that breakpoint. Going to be opting to pick Hidden 1 immediately after.
A surprise to me indeed, HD1 with the some of the higher SR maps in the pool. I think going all the way up, maybe not actually. It says 5.8 here, but this map is going to test your awkward aim consistency. Very, very much so. It is usually pooled as an Nomad 1 in a lot of tournaments, but here we have it in HD, and if you aren't comfortable on HD aim, this map will get you very, very easily. And the 200 BPM means that the aim is going to be very, very fast, and some of these angles are not going to be easy to hit.
Yep, and as you mentioned, the SR is 5.8 before the hidden SR modifier, so with it, it will go up to 6.02.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be one of the higher SR maps of the pool. Anyways, getting right into the map, we're going to be seeing immediately, even in the chill section, the awkward aim is starting. These angles are not friendly. Mumei going to be finding the first break, but the map is just under 4 minutes, really long, and there's plenty of time to catch back up. But he needs to find a footing and stop breaking early on like this.
Indeed. That is going to give the advantage to Arrowwielder, not anymore, as they find a miss. Ike is going to take the score lead over with the accuracy and combo advantage now, 100 combo and rising. But neither of these players seems to be holding a lot of combo here. We might be seeing another break from both of these players soon.
Yep, but with both players breaking, IQ with that accuracy lead of like about 2% is going to be really have a lot of buffer when both players are breaking along with this. But I think we're building up into the PI. Players have a little bit of chill section before the aim really starts to ramp up, and we get to really see the awkward patterns of this map.
Yeah, and that is going to be a miss right at the start of that key eye for Aiki as we get into these square jumps, as the awkward aim, the wide angles are coming in and is catching Aiki off guard. arrowwielder holding onto that recovery combo and finally taking back that score lead. 7k and rising. He needs to hold to ensure that score lead keeps growing to his side.
Yep, the accuracy is also stabilizing, going back in the favor of arrowwielder now. We're starting to see why the opposite picked this map. As he hits those square jumps, IQ finding a few breaks, but arrowwielder is holding strong through this awkward section. This slow section is going to let him build that combo and build that score lead up.
Indeed, 50k already. The accuracy has recovered. Mumei no longer has the 98 he has had since the start of this map, and that miss right there is going to simply give arrowwielder the advantage even more, but that miss is traded. arrowwielder's combo is reset. He has a chance, but that's not going to matter as he finds another miss.
Yep, arrowwielder may have missed, but not before building up a sizable score lead. Aiki has a lot of work to do if he wants to try and take this breakpoint from arrowwielder as we get back into the aim, into a bit of a more like tapping section of the map.
Yeah, but Aiki's not out of the game just yet. We still have this tech section here. Right as we get into these sliders, both players are finding misses. But the score lead has gone down a tiny bit. Now just sitting under 70k. Combo lead is going to go back to arrowwielder, though. That is not good if you're supporting Aiki here.
Yep, but if Aiki can hold through this next PI and Arrow finds a few misses, it's still winnable for Aikinu as we get into this next awkward aim. Aikinu gonna be finding the first mid, quickly traded by arrowwielder. This is not good for Aikinu with that score lead from arrowwielder. There's not a lot of time left for Aikinu to build up a combo lead again and to try and take a score lead. Both players gonna be finding some misses on this brutal section, but arrowwielder is still in the lead with the accuracy advantage and with the score lead. I think as we get through this last PI section, IQ holding through the square section, gonna be building up a combo back up. Is there enough time? Gonna be missing at the very end. There's not gonna be enough time for him to rebuild and take this totally back. arrowwielder gonna be securing his second point of the match on this hidden one hit as we get through the last few circles. IQ gonna be missing at the very end, but it's not gonna matter. arrowwielder with that 300k is gonna be taking his second point of the match at a score of 3-2.
Putting himself back into the game. arrowwielder with the 500 combo, getting another point on the board. It is 2-3, but it is going to be Mumei's pick. arrowwielder is looking to get a breakpoint here, though. Let's see what Mumei goes for.
Yep, I think DT4 is also a pretty gimmicky map this time around in our pool. Going to be kind of like the old mapping style. I think Mumei could look into picking that at some point. And also there is still the Nomad 6, which is the rhythm swing gimmick that I think he will also be favored on.
Yeah, certainly so, but there is still HD3 left in the pool. That is going to be a pure flowing test, and just looking at how they did on Nomad 3, they could potentially look to pick into that. Especially if they're betting on arrowwielder being less comfortable on that HD mod than they are.
Another interesting pick to consider is the Nomad 4. Oh, speaking of the Nomad 4, this is going to be your mixed tech pick of the pool. But another interesting aspect of this map is the AR is pretty low for a typical tech map. The sliders are I feel like they're really dense, and there's a pretty big reading aspect of this map as well, if you're not familiar with reading these slider patterns on these tech maps.
Yes, sir, you have said it, Groggles. This map is going to feature a lot of those back and forth sliders that are right on top of each other, along with triples as well. It's very circly. You'll see once we get into the key eyes of this map, but this map is going to have a lot of those beating elements, which is going to favor Ike a lot here. And we saw that on No Mod 3 that they are still very, very good at control as well. So this is a logical pick as well.
Yeah, as we're getting into the early sections of the map, arrowwielder going to be taking an early lead, and we're going to be seeing the first few slider patterns of the map, and we're seeing sort of the density of the map come in as these sliders start to overlap over each other. Both players able to read arrowwielder, actually finding the first miss, but Aikinu holding strong. Going to be over-tapping a little bit there and quickly trading the miss. It's still anyone's game right now.
Certainly so. And the back and forth catches Mumei, but arrowwielder trades. Here we go into the Ki. The tapping section catches no one, but the wonky sliders are here now. They do have ticks on them occasionally, so you better remember to aim them properly. No cheating allowed here. Mumei is going to be the one finding the first miss on the Ki. Arrowwielder holding that combo and accuracy advantage now. The score lead is going to fly over to their side.
Yep, as the map is not slowing down at all, these slider patterns continue to be brutal, and then both players can be missing on those patterns. Arrowwielder now with a very, very slight score lead. It's still anyone's game right now. One big combo build up from anyone could be enough to seal the deal right now. As the map is still going strong, the break is here. The players see the score is super close. The nerves are settling. Who can hold on in this next PI section and build a bigger combo to take the score lead?
Both players with very similar combos on this section. As we get out of this build-up section into the next Ki, here we go. 200 combos on both sides. Score lead is favoring Ike right now, but he is going to find that miss. Crucial miss for arrowwielder. And that combo is just gonna keep going as the score lead flies over to his side. 18k and rising. Mumei finding a chain miss on that circle tech section. And is this the breakpoint that we're gonna see, Gargles?
I think it might be. Arrowwielder still holding strong with that 400 combo, 300 over Aikinu, and now with an accuracy lead above Aikinu. I think even if Arrowwielder misses right now, there's not going to be enough time for Mumei to build up a recovery combo and come back. As we get to these last few sections, Arrowwielder still holding strong, comboing through this final TI section, hitting the last tapping section, and able to take back the breakpoint that he traded earlier on the No Mod 4 pick.
And what an incredibly close match this is. 3-3, one breakpoint each on the technical control picks respectively. What an incredible performance from both of these players right now. 350k for arrowwielder on this No Mod 4.
Yep, Mumei with a respectable score as well, over 200k on this brutal tech map. I think that would be a lot of players in this rank range, but not enough to beat out arrowwielder right now against his opponent.
Alright. The control maps of this map seems to be running out slowly. We do still have the HT3 and I believe HR3 as well, but perhaps arrowwielder would aim to pick something different, such as that HR2. The precision check of the second precision check, of this map pool. We did see Ike winning the HD4 earlier, which is a precision gimmick map, very, very comfortably. But this map takes away that gimmicky element. It is just going to be a very standard HR precision aim, which perhaps arrowwielder will be a lot more comfortable on. And as we wait for these players to get ready, it is going to be 3-3 here. We have 3 more points each. The match is still very, very, very much early on. And these players seems to be slowly but surely running out of those picks that they're comfortable in, and we haven't seen any one-sided landslide wins just yet. Most of these wins are below 100k score difference. We'll see if any of that stays true though with the rest of these maps coming up.
Yep, and with that being said, arrowwielder gonna be the first to break on this Hard Rock 2. This is gonna actually matter a lot more than the previous map. Quickly traded by Mumei, although they did build up a score lead with that first break. But this map is gonna be just below 2 minutes, one of the shorter maps of the pool. So these early act drops and early breaks really do matter a lot more than they do in the previous map.
Yep, neither player is finding any misses on those tapping sections. Slight under aim on Mumei's part though, giving arrowwielder that advantage right near the middle of the map. That is not what you would like to see if you are supporting Aiki here. Another miss right at the end of that Ki, but it's traded by arrowwielder, halting the bleeding just for a bit. It is still going to be 20k score lead for arrowwielder's side though.
Yep, just over halfway through the map. Score lead has dwindled a little bit to just over 6,000. It's still really anyone's game, depending on who can hold for longer on these last few aim patterns. Both players holding strong. Mumei with that combo lead, going to be taking a score lead, but finding a few act drops and finding another miss. This is going to be big for arrowwielder, who is still holding strong through these aim patterns. Arrowwielder with 140 combo. Going to be taking the score lead. Mumei finding another miss. This is not good for Mumei fans out there. arrowwielder still holding strong. Accuracies are similar, but Arrow stronger combo. Going to be finding a miss at the end, but he has done enough. He has held for long enough to gain the score lead and take his 4th point.
An incredibly close map indeed, but arrowwielder comes on top with the 200 combo over Aiki's 150 combo.
Yep, finding a really strong combo towards the end there. I think that was a pretty crazy pop-off. But as you mentioned before, the scores are really close for every single map. So really, any pick these players do, I think, are very contestable, and everything is very breakpointable. Mumei going to be opting to pick the Hard Rock 3 next.
Ooh, a Hard Rock 3 pick, coming off of a Hard Rock 2 loss. A very ballsy pick indeed, going HR into HR loss, but this map is going to be a lot different of a skill set compared to the HR2. This is going to be your HR3 custom by Ethentrix on Snap Alt, I believe, if I am remembering this correctly.
Yep, and there are also a few devious flow patterns throughout the map. I think there's a few squares here and there, a few cut doubles that will probably catch some players off guard.
Indeed, and it seems I was wrong about that snipe alt section. This is going to be more of a flow alt map, but another alt map indeed, and Aiki has been seen to be doing very well on alt on this entire pool. Let's see if that continues to be the case on this HR3.
Yep. Aikinu, not particularly known as a Hard Rock player, but as we saw from that Hard Rock 2, they can play it to a competent degree. So we'll really have to see how they're able to translate these alt skills when added to the Hard Rock mod.
Seems we are having a little bit of a technical issue. But in the meantime, hopefully we get to see the actual match soon. Oh no, oh lord. Oh lord. That's not good.
Oh, where's our
streamer GG's.
Wait, did they start the map already? Okay.
Probably. Try downloading
getting...
it now. But yeah, wow, what an incredible score lead that player winning is holding right now.
Whoa, both players are holding full combos SSing right now. The score lead is 0. Oh my god.
Why are they all playing DTHDHR right now? This is an HR3.
What? These
The
guys are reading AR11. SSing that.
AR11?
Oh
Wow, with
man.
D rankers, they should get out of this rank range.
So true. Long train run.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Thank you, Eastern Church, for mapping this. This wonderful map that we're seeing right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Mirage has mentioned this before, but this map was supposed to be a Nomad 3, but it was deemed a little bit too easy, so we moved it to an HR3. Hello, Ethan Tricks. Welcome to the chat.
Oh yeah, you gotta just like visualize both players are FCing right now, or like, oh, we're getting into the map.
And we're
Aikinu with
into
a
the map.
30k score lead.
And this map is certainly showing its difficulty right now, right into the last quarter of the map, and neither of these players are holding very good scores right now, but Aiki is going to be taking that score lead to 50k on his side.
Yep. With that, off the back of that 6% accuracy lead, I don't know how much combo lead he has throughout the map, but the accuracy lead will definitely help him a lot as we get to these last few flow patterns. He could be missing on that last square pattern, but he has done enough to almost doubling Arrow Wielder's score. It would be a very strong pick from Aikinu. Wish we could have seen more of it, but he is going to be securing his 4th pick of the match, tying the score up to 4-4.
Yeah, these players are not letting down, are they? Point after point, trade after trade. I am so excited to see if these guys can take this match to tiebreaker once again.
That would be really hype. I think I'm not sure if this actually happened, but I overheard like the players like messaging saying they would like practice the pool together, like Arrowwielder, Mumei, and Zito in the same lobby. So they might also be basing their picks off of their practice scores in those practice lobbies.
Oh my. Okay, let's see. It seems that we're running into a little bit of a technical issue coming from Mikey, so we will be chilling here for a tiny bit. But yeah,
Yep,
fixing up some of
what?
fixing up some of these technical issues that we're running into the stream. But yeah,
Yeah.
any predictions, Groggles?
Predictions for the next pick of Arrowwielder. Looking at the pool, I guess given that Aiki did beat him on the speed map, DT2 might not be what you want to rush to Arrowwielder right now. I could see you could always go for the Nomad 1 gamble, our Aru Ota custom.
Yes, indeed. A banger
Oh.
of a song as well.
Arrow took a timeout.
Oh.
Gonna be opting to chill for a little bit after that Hard Rock 3.
Getting a
maybe
bit
getting
of a
into
mental
water.
reset. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of a mental reset. Get some water in your system. Get that Emmerich water bottle going on.
Yes. But he's not down 6-1 this time.
Oh, indeed. This has been an incredibly close match, but looking at some of these maps that are left in the pool right now, I am seeing a lot of Aiki favored picks left with the DT2, DT4, HD3, and Nomad 6. I think Arrow's gonna need to pull out some very incredible performances on some of these maps to be able to beat out Aiki.
I think Hard Rock 1 is going to be slightly Arrow favored though. With mainly being aim focused, I believe. Actually,
Yeah,
no,
fair
I remember there was a lot of tapping in that map.
It's not. I don't think it's tapping enough to be too big of a deal for either of these players. it is still going to be a relatively aim-focused map.
Yep.
You're going to
maybe
Iroh going for what are the bans?
What are the
thinking
bans?
Thinking about their picks and bans here.
Yep. Making use of all the time from the timeout. Really think through this next pick. You're gonna be opting for that Hard Rock one.
Yep, indeed. And this is going to be non-reflection. I will not be able to pronounce that the author's name, unfortunately.
Oh.
This map is going to feature a lot of those aim and pretty much just aim mech sections. Some aim, some light tapping, but there is this one section in the middle of the map that is just slider back and forth. I wonder if they will, either of these players will get caught up on that.
Yep, we'll have to see who can hold on through these slider sections. And really this map is going to be 3 minutes 24 seconds on the longer end of the pool. Also going to be testing how consistent these players are in a longer map.
And right away, no stalling here. We get into this map. Both players are ready and getting into it.
Yep. Starting off slow with a spinner. You're going to immediately see the really mech part of the map as these little bursts come in and as the aim does not let up both players. Aikinu finding a few act drops early on. You're going to be seeing that comfort difference on this sort of HR mech. It's going to be favoring arrowwielder, but both players still holding on to the full combo. Arrowwielder finding an early break. Aikinu now has a chance to come back and take the score lead off the back of that XP deficit, but combo lead.
Yeah, but he finds another miss with the overtab. It's traded by arrowwielder, but looking at the accuracy right now, that miss is going to favor arrowwielder's score lead.
Yep, as the tapping does not let up. Arrowwielder going to be finding another miss. Neither player going to be finding any sort of consistency on this map. But arrowwielder, with that actually lead, going to be a bit benefit. But mumei, now with a pretty sizable combo, up to 200, can start to try and build up a score lead and take maybe another breakpoint from arrowwielder. Arrowwielder going to be finding another break right after that break section. Not what you want to see. And Aikinu hitting these slider sections. Going to be missing there, but not before building up a decent score lead. But arrowwielder now has a driver's seat with that combo lead and accuracy lead. Have a chance to come back and take that score lead.
Indeed, and arrowwielder unfortunately misreading on those sliders initially, but the combo lead and the accuracy lead is going to be on their side. Mumei with the 18k, but there's still half the map left here.
See who can hold for longer. Mumei finding a break right after that break section. Not able to get back into the map right away. Mumei struggling to find a foothold, finding more misses. Arrowwielder holding strong onto almost 300 combo now. And still with that actually lead, going to be taking the score lead back through this consistency at Mech Hard Rock 1. As we see arrowwielder holding strong. Mumei now finding a recovery combo. But arrowwielder still has that combo lead and that actually lead as we're building up.
Here we go, one last key eye of the map. The sliders are coming in, accuracy and combo on the side of arrowwielder. 40k score lead, and it's stopped. The bleeding has stopped. Mumei needs to hold on, but they're not finding any combo. The misses and accuracy drop is going to drop the score lead slowly. There's still enough map for Mumei to come back here, but the arrowwielder is building up a recovery combo once again. Accuracies are dropping from both players here, but it is not going to be enough to swing the score lead back over. There's still one last bit of the map left, a tapping section. Ike is going to find the miss, unfortunately, and arrowwielder closing out this HR1 pick with a 250k score. the combo at the end has given him this win, and Mumei is not going to get a breakpoint here.
Yeah, gonna be securing his second last pick of the match. Really, really strong performance. And really what you want to see as arrow wielder, because as you get into these last few picks of the match, it's going to be getting more and more contested, I'd say. So being able to secure that 5th point there is probably really big relief on his mind after taking that time out.
Certainly so. Arrow Wielder now a singular point away from match point. Mumei, it is their pick. Will they keep up the streak of trading points that we've seen throughout the entire match so far, or will they give Arrow Wielder that guaranteed tiebreaker for the rest of the match? We'll see with their next pick, but they do still have a lot of options. DT4 and No Mod 6 are both still there. DT2 is still available for IT to pick here.
Yep, Hidden 3 as well. We saw Aikinu win the No Mod 3 and also win the Hard Rock 3, both pretty ulti flowy maps. And Hidden 3 is not going to be that much different just with the Hidden mod added, but I think for Aikinu, who's pretty comfortable on that Hidden mod, will also be a pretty strong pick. Going to be actually picking the Hidden 3 here as his second last pick of the match.
Yep, certainly so. HC3 has been picked. This is going to be your pure hidden flow aim check. It is going to be, well, I cannot read that.
Oh, it's not in the English version of Japanese. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, BPM gonna be a bit lower at 150 BPM. Gonna be purely a flow aim test on the hidden mod. The good luck have funds are coming into the chat, and both players be readying up.
All right, here we go into HD3. Training length of just under 3 minutes. It is on the longer side for a tournament map. So it is going to come down to that consistency element for both of these players. Both players dropping a little bit of act, but not quite dropping the combo. Accuracies are going to favor Arrow Wielder right off the bat, actually.
Yep, and right in the early section of the map, we're going to be seeing like what it's about, seeing the early flow patterns. As we get into a longer flow pattern, both players holding strong. Aikinu going to be finding the first miss. This is really not good if you're an Aiki fan right now. New Arrow Wielder with that Acti lead and that combo lead, going to have a chance to build up a very sizable score lead as he's holding strong through these flow patterns. These extra little snappy alt patterns are nothing for him. Holding a strong 96% accuracy and just not slowing down for any of these flow patterns. Aikinu also, both players finding a miss on that flow pattern in the first PI section. This is going to favor Arrow Wielder with that score lead. Accuracy is now both players dropping down to around 92. We're really seeing the brutal part of this map in that PI section where the longer flowing patterns start to settle in.
An Arrow Wielder with those chain mists on those longer flowing patterns is going to give Aiki the chance they need to come back here. The accuracy advantage that Arrow Wielder had held at the start of the map is long gone. 89% to 93% that Mumei is holding. With another trade on the board, it is going to favor Aiki, especially with that miss right there from Arrow Wielder.
Yep, getting into the next gas section. Both players can be finding an early chain miss on that first flow pattern, but quickly recovering. Arrow Wielder finding another miss. Aikinu holding strong through these flowing patterns. And we building the accuracy back up, finding a 5% act lead over Arrow Wielder, and now holding a pretty sizable 100 combo lead. Gonna give him a chance to really extend this score lead that he has. Unfortunately, gonna be missing right after, but Arrow Wielder not too far ahead, only around 60 more combos.
Unfortunately, not able to grasp that chance, but Aiki has done their job. The damage has been done. 20,000 score lead is nothing to scoff at in a match as close as this. Arrow Wielder needs to find some way to hold on to a good amount of a combo through these long screams for these flow patterns. If they want any chance of coming back, 17k score to make up, it is still doable, but they just need to hold on to that combo.
Yep, I think this last TI at the very end will decide everything. Mumei gonna be finding an early miss. Actually, is there a last TI? Mumei gonna be finding a miss at the very end, but not before building a pretty sizable score lead. arrowwielder, though, does have a combo lead. Not gonna be enough time to take the score back, only winning by 10,000. Mumei securing their 5th point off the back of that 4% actually lead. Arrow actually having a bigger combo, but Mumei, with that 90% accuracy, is gonna take the score lead and take his 5th point.
Yeah, with the chain misses that arrowwielder finds near the middle of that map, Mumei is able to recover that score just barely by the skin of their teeth. 10,000 score lead on that win, but a win is a win nonetheless. Both players are now 1 point away from match point. They still have 4 maps on the board to pick from: Nomad 1, Nomad 6, DT2, and DT4. arrowwielder, probably something like Nomad 1, and it has come out, would be the most favorable for him, but nonetheless, a Nomad 1 is still a Nomad 1. The Aru custom is here, but it is still gonna be a 50-50 for both of these players nonetheless.
Yes, this is gonna be your consistency aim map of the pool. It can be, I think, actually the longest map in the pool, other than TB. During time at just over 4 minutes. Gonna be testing how consistent these players can be on these wider aim patterns.
And here we go into that Nomad 1. It's going to feature 4 minutes of Miku song at a BPM of 192. This map is going to be a relatively comfortable BPM for these two players, I'm sure.
Yeah, and getting right into the map, we're going to see there's not going to be many chill sections as the aim does not let up. These wide patterns really going to be testing how comfortable you are aiming these sort of cross-spin jumps. And as we see, arrowwielder going to be finding an early break. Ike with that accuracy lead and that combo lead, going to have a chance to build up a score lead. But there is still plenty of map to go. So we'll just have to see whether Ike can hold and remain calm.
Indeed. Your worst enemy on Nomad 1 is never your enemy. It is always your own mental. The shakes and the nerves that build up as the map goes on, the more combo you hold, the more likely you're able to break on a lot of these patterns. And the story stays the same here. Ike holding on to that 450 combo and rising 60k score lead for their side. It is not looking good for arrowwielder here, especially with those misses.
Yep, arrowwielder not able to find that strong of a foothold. Ike still holding strong with that full combo and that 96, almost 97 active lead. arrowwielder going to be finding another miss. Really not what you want to see if you're cheering for arrowwielder right now. Ike still holding strong. Now boosting is actually up to 97. Just passing 250k score on the halfway mark. Aikinu really going to be having a chance. He's going to be finding his first miss of the map. If arrowwielder can build up a recovery combo. Unfortunately, arrowwielder not able to find any sort of recovery. And the combos are still even. Ike with that 140k score lead. Arrow has a lot of work to do if he wants to take back his 6th point and his final pick of the match. Mumei finding another miss, but it's Arrow not with that big of a combo to capitalize on it. And Mumei with that 2% active lead also going to give Arrow a lot more work to do. But Arrow, unfortunately, not going to be finding any sort of combo. And Mumei now halfway through the map with a 300k score, almost double that of arrowwielder. It's going to be, there's still plenty of map to go. Arrow needs to start holding. It needs to find a foothold. It needs to hope Ike finds a few misses towards the very end. Otherwise, this might just be securing match point for Aiki.
As the break is here, both players are able to see the score difference as Mumei realizes in just how much of a good spot they are in now. arrowwielder understanding that they need to hold if they want any chance to come back from this map. Aiki does find that miss, but is arrowwielder going to be able to hold, and is there even enough map left for this to be a comeback?
arrowwielder is holding on since the break. I think that break really motivated them to lock in and sort of whole combo, but Aiki needs to find a few more misses if Arrow wants a chance to come back from the score lead, which I think, given that the map is almost finishing, both players, Aiki gonna be missing on that last aim section, Arrow holding strong, really focusing up after seeing that break, seeing how far behind he was, really building up this combo lead, up to 300 now. Unfortunately, as we get through these last few aim sections, Aiki gonna be finding a few more misses, but unfortunately I don't think there's enough time, despite the efforts of arrowwielder towards the very end, holding a very strong combo, but Aiki did enough at the early stages of the map, and with that almost 400k score, you're gonna be taking a breakpoint on Arrow's last pick.
Indeed, wow. Indeed. arrowwielder unfortunately not able to capitalize on that last pick and giving the match point to Mumei. Are we going to be... The next point is going to determine whether or not we are going to be able to see a tiebreaker. Does Mumei close this match out with this Nomad 6 pick? Or will arrowwielder be able to come back and bring this to Chroma Surge? We will find out in just under 2 minutes.
Yep, as we mentioned, this is going to be a rhythm gimmick map of the pool, and Aiki has been shown to be a pretty strong gimmick map throughout its gimmick player throughout the tournament. This map is going to be 1 minute and 50 seconds, just below 2 minutes, so players really need to lock in and not find those early shit misses and act drops.
But yeah, the nerves are certainly going to be building for both of these players. They know the consequences of losing this, and they know what the other person is capable of. This could go to any one of these players, and immediately off the bat, arrowwielder is looking incredibly strong with that 97% accuracy compared to the 83% that Aiki is holding.
Aiki also going to be finding the first miss. This is really not what you want to see on a map as short as this. arrowwielder holding strong, 95 accuracy on this sort of rhythmy map. Going to be finding a miss, but not before building a sizable score lead with that accuracy and that combo lead. Aiki now finding a bit of a foothold with that 150 combo. Has a chance to sort of come back, especially if Arrow keeps finding misses like that. Although the accuracy lead is going to be on the side of arrowwielder, so Aiki's going to have a lot of work to do if he wants to come back on the score lead.
And the combo lead is going to be on the side of Aiki. Unfortunately, not going to have the combo to keep Aiki from taking that score lead away. There's still a third of this map remaining. The bowstring has been drawn. Is it going to fire? Is it going to land? Both players trade. 30k score lead for Mumei. The map is closing out. This map is incredibly short, and with those misses, does not look like arrowwielder will be able to come back from this. Another miss comes out from Mumei, and I believe that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be this match. The arrow has not been fired, and Mumei takes this win to 7-5, bringing themselves to grand finals. Last match of the grand finals bracket of not 6-digit world, well, what am I talking about? 6-digit Canadian tournament 2025 or 2026. I don't know what I'm saying. And yeah, what an incredible match from these players.
That was incredibly close. Each point, I don't think there was a single map Oh, besides Nomad 1, where the score difference was over 100k. So really showing how close these players are in skill level on all, like really the whole pool. Both of these players pretty well-rounded. And I think most maps could have gone really either way in terms of who won them.
Indeed, indeed. But this match has been incredibly close for both of these players. The score leads were barely above 50k for most of these maps. Only a few maps ever went above 100k ever. It just shows genuinely just how close these players are in terms of skill. And what a surprise! We see Seed 6 Mumei coming out on top against Seed 2. A seeding upset, even though seeding doesn't really quite matter that much at the grand final stage. Nonetheless, we will be seeing Mumei versus Zito in the final match of 60CT3. Stay tuned, and we'll see you when we do.